Welcome into SportsZone All Access. I'm your host, Kelsey Dennehy, alongside Ian Sachs today. Ian, it is Wednesday, November 19th. We are 3 weeks into November already.
That's insane to think about. It feels like we just had Halloween and the month just started, but we've already been through high school football semifinals and state championships and a lot of college football as well. But you know what? Now that we're 3 weeks in, now that all that's passed, that means we have high school volleyball state championships coming up. We'll talk a lot about that today. But Kelsey, one thing to blow your mind, a week from tomorrow, Thanksgiving.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love Thanksgiving food. I think my favorite side is stuffing. I don't know about yours, Ian. But
all of it? Is that an answer?
Yeah, that's perfect. So let us know what your favorite Thanksgiving side dish is. I feel like that's the best part. I love a good turkey, but that's the best part of the meal is the sides and the dessert. Can't forget the dessert.
That's honestly my favorite part. I have a little bit of a sweet tooth.
But we also can't forget the volleyball state tournament. And we'll start with those Class AA brackets. We have number 1 seed Harrisburg, to the surprise of no one. They're taking on Mitchell, Lincoln, and Watertown, Brandon Valley and Washington, and O'Gorman and Jefferson. And Ian, I had to remind myself this too. Times are mountain time, so it is not central time this whole weekend in Rapid City.
Yeah, all 3 classes playing out at the Monument in Rapid, and a great facility out there. It's a lot of fun to see. Whether it's in Sioux Falls or in Rapid, all 3 classes playing alongside each other. So you get to not only watch the match you're watching, but you get to kind of check in on how the other 2 are going too. So it's a really fun atmosphere. But to talk AA right here, we'll talk Harrisburg in a moment. They're the number 1 team. They're the reigning state champions. But the rest of the bracket, I'm really looking forward to that opening quarterfinal matchup between the 2-7 Brandon Valley and Washington. Washington was in the state championship last year, and Jefferson going back out to Rapid. They went out to Rapid for the Sodak 16 last week, beat Rapid City Stevens. Now they're in the state tournament, having to travel West River once again. But Harrisburg, what can you say about what the Tigers have done? They're in quest for a 4-peat. That'd be the first 4-peat in Class AA in the history of the 3-class system. Just the third 4-peat in the history of South Dakota high school volleyball. Sioux Falls Christian won 7 in a row through last year. Their streak was snapped last year. We'll talk more about Christian in Class A in a minute. And then Northwestern did it in Class B. So Harrisburg looking to do it here in Class AA. And what a run it's been for them. 122-5 over the last 4 years. Undefeated the last 2 seasons. 2 losses this year, but to non-South Dakota teams. They have run through everyone in the state. They've only dropped 2 sets total to a South Dakota foe all season long. O'Gorman and Brandon Valley each pushed them to 4 sets once. So just really impressive run for Harrisburg.
Absolutely. I was actually at both of those sets, which is kind of crazy that a little bit of historic volleyball here in Sioux Falls, if you think about it, based on how dominant Harrisburg's been. Another fun little tidbit that is going to be really key, I think, to the Tigers in this tournament is they're undefeated on the road. And in conference class play, I should add. They did play out of conference and they lost those 2 games in Texas. However, in class, within this group of teams that they're playing, they have not lost on the road. And normally you see that with a home environment, not necessarily with an away environment, which is going to be really vital to this team.
Yeah, they're not playing in Sioux Falls 10 minutes from where they're home. They're playing across the state, and they're able to have success no matter where they're playing, and that's the credit of a good team and their head coach, Renette Costain. Coach and Gabby Zachariasen, their star senior, will join us later in the show, so that'll be a fun conversation that we'll have with them just to find out kind of where their mindset is heading into a state tournament where they're the heavy favorites. Everyone knows that it's Harrisburg's championship seemingly to lose, and how do they cap off this big run for this senior class? 4 seniors on the team, and they're looking for a 4-peat. A little bit poetic there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
One for each of them, and they've all had such a big impact on this team, and you did speak to Gabby Zachariasen, and we'll hear from her and Coach in a little bit, but every one of them has played an integral role. in high school, you've played with a lot of these kids since you were little. And so this is it for them, which is really exciting. And we've got a couple more really good teams to talk about here too in Class A. Dakota Valley is the top seed. They will face Wagner in the 11 a.m. game. 4 seed Clark Willow Lake will face Hamlin, and number 2 Del Rapids takes on Rapid City Christian. Sioux Falls Christian takes on St. Thomas More. Ian, what matchup are you looking forward to most on this bracket?
To me, it seems like there's really top 3 teams in the class and then the best of the rest. Dakota Valley, Del Rapids, and Sioux Falls Christian. We'll talk a little bit about each one of them, but it seems like the state champion is going to come out of one of those 3 teams if I were to put a little bit of money on it. But just to see how each of these teams did against each other throughout the season is going to be a lot of fun. They kind of had success against one of those teams and didn't against the other one. Dakota Valley may be getting the benefit of the draw, being the 1 seed, not having to face either Del Rapids or Sioux Falls Christian until a potential state championship match. But watch out for Hamlin as the 5 seed. They were in the championship match last year, lost to Del Rapids, and it feels like a little different stage where we are for Class A. Sioux Falls Christian won 7 straight up until last year. Then Del Rapids ended that streak and came away with the championship. So we talked about Harrisburg being the dominant team in Class AA. In A, the last couple of years, we've been saying that in Christian, and now it's a big 3 here in this class. So that makes this class all the more fun. Dakota Valley, the 1 seed, they had a lot of success against Dells throughout the season, struggled against Sioux Falls Christian. Del Rapids had a lot of success against Christian, struggled against DV. Christian struggled against Dells, had success against DV. So I feel like it's going to be a matchup. Who do you play and at one point in the tournament?
I was going to say, I feel like we're in the Bermuda Triangle of top 3 seeds here, especially going through and seeing who each of these teams has lost to in class, which, by the way, is not very many, but they've lost to each other. And so it's hard to beat a team twice, and the only team that has done that in class this season is Dakota Valley. They beat Del Rapids twice this year. But they've been pretty dominant. I mean, Sioux Falls Christian has a 25-10 record, but I would say after watching them in October, November, they're playing their best volleyball right now, and that definitely is important at this time in the year.
Well, Kelsey, the storylines, you can make a case for each one of them that they're the favorite because Sioux Falls Christian has that championship pedigree, winning those 7 straight state championships that obviously ended last year, but a lot of those players have been a part of that success. Del Rapids is the reigning state champion. They've gotten it done the most recently. And then you have Dakota Valley, who's the number 1 seed. So each one of them you could make a very compelling case for is the favorite to win the championship. All I know is if we do get all of those matchups of semifinals between Christian and Del Rapids, and then whoever wins there against Dakota Valley in the championship, sign me up to watch all of those matches because they're going to be high-level volleyball no matter what level, no matter what match it is in the tournament. That's going to be must-watch TV.
It's going to be really, really good. I'm excited to watch it all weekend, and obviously we'll have coverage on KELOLAND every night with the highlights of these games because they're going to be really competitive. But we've still got to chat the Class B bracket when we come back. You're watching SportsZone All Access. Welcome back to SportsZone All Access on this Wednesday, November 19th. Kelsey Dennehy here with Ian Sachs. And Ian, we got to Class AA and the Class A brackets for high school state volleyball, but we still have one more to go, and that is Class B. And we can't forget about Class B because there is some utterly dominant teams here in Class B. And we'll start with Chester. Chester is going to face Harried Selby area at 11 a.m. And Parkston, the 4 seed, is going to face Bennett County. 2 seed Northwestern is a sneaky 2 seed. They could come out pretty good here in this tournament, and they'll see Gayville-Volland first, and number 3 Warner is going to see Harding County. Ian, what matchup are you picking for this quarterfinals?
I love the 4-5 matchup between Parkston and Bennett County. It seems to me that the way that this class breaks down is you have Chester as the number 1 team, and then you have 2 really strong teams right behind them at 2 and 3, Northwestern and Warner, and then kind of falls off a little bit. But looking at Chester and Northwestern, and both they have a combined 3 losses on the season. Chester just 1 loss on the year. Northwestern 2 losses on the season. So both of them have put together incredible runs this year. And for Chester, we'll talk about them now. And Chester, they're the 2-time reigning state champions. They were in the title match and lost 3 years ago. So they're looking to make it 4 straight title matches and a 3-peat in Class B. And we talked about what Harrisburg is doing in Class AA, looking for a 4-peat. Chester pretty much in the same spot here in Class B, looking for a 3-peat.
Chester, I've seen Chester play a couple times now this season, and I mean, you see them here in this clip against Del Rapids. Del Rapids is a class above them, and they came in and swept Del Rapids. They are a dominant volleyball team. Their only loss is to Dakota Valley, which again is the class above. So
number 1 team in the class above.
Exactly. So that goes to show just how good that they have played. No one else has won a set against this team all season long. They have swept every other game besides the loss to Dakota Valley all season. So this tournament might be the first time they see any adversity whatsoever, Ian.
Yeah, that's a great point there, that not only have they won all those matches coming in at 30-1, but they haven't dropped a set there. That's really, really impressive for the Flyers. The one team that I think can challenge them the most is Northwestern, coming in at 35-2. Their 2 losses to Aberdeen Roncalli and Brandon Valley. BV is 2 classes up and the number 2 team in Class AA. So that's another team to watch out for. I would love to see a Northwestern Chester state championship match on Saturday night. Of course, a lot of volleyball to be played before we can get there. But if those 2 do advance to the championship match, that'll be a lot of fun.
And I think a team that is going to contest Chester is going to be a team that can punch them in the mouth early, that can take that first set. They haven't lost a set this year, and so for a team to beat them, they're going to need to take them out right from the jump. But there are a lot of different ways that this could go. I'm really excited to see how this tournament progresses. And like we said before, we'll have coverage on KELOLAND Sports at 10 every single night and at 6, truthfully, for those morning games. You'll be able to see highlights all there. But Ian caught up with Harrisburg Tigers head coach Renette Costain and their star senior, Gabby Zachariason. You'll see that up next. You're watching SportsZone All Access.
Welcome back into SportsZone All Access. Well, we have a couple guests in studio today from the Harrisburg Tigers, the top seed in Class AA. It's head coach Renette Costain and star senior outside hitter Gabby Zachariason. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, both of you have been a part of a lot of success for the Tigers. This year, another successful season so far. State tournament beginning on Thursday. What's been the keys to your success so far?
Go ahead, Gab.
I think every day just really working hard in practice and all buying into the same common goal that we want to win yet again this year. And so I think it's just really strong when everyone thinks the same thing and works super hard at practice every single day.
And Coach?
I think the precedent was set years ago when these girls were little, what it meant to be a Harrisburg Tiger and the success and what that commitment means. And they've bought in and then some. They've traveled everywhere. They play club. They do workouts. They're just committed.
Well, that commitment has another couple of days left as the state tournament, as mentioned, begins on Thursday. You guys, the top overall seed once again, taking on Mitchell in the first round. Of quarterfinal is the first one of the day at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and then semifinals Friday, championship on Saturday. What would it mean to win another state championship?
I think it would be awesome to like finish very strong with 4 in a row, and I think it would just show the hard work that we've put in throughout the season. Yeah.
Coach, you've led a team that has won 3 straight state championships, looking for a 4th one right now. What's different about this team?
Just that they've been together for the 4 years. A lot of teams will have a varsity team that's maybe together for a year or 2, but this group has had the core of them together for all 4, which is really special.
Gabby, you're a part of that senior class that Coach just mentioned there. What's been the best part about being with this group for you?
Personally, these other seniors are my best friends, and I think it's so awesome that we get to see each other every day at practice and play together. And it's honestly been one of the funnest parts about Harrisburg volleyball is being able to play with my best friends, but also everybody else who has become my friends, I think is so strong. But yeah, definitely playing with my 3 best friends and hopefully going to the championship and winning that will be so awesome.
You guys, the top overall seed once again. And it seems like rolling through just about everyone that you've been playing. Coach, how do you keep the girls motivated?
I don't have to motivate them. When you have that kind of commitment, they're self-motivated. They just come in every single day and they compete in practice because they're not happy with just beating teams. They want to be the best team they can be.
Coach, it looks like undefeated against South Dakota opponents this year. What is it about this group that they're able to find success every single time they hit the court?
Their commitment, their talent, their work ethic, and the fact that they're mentally strong. If they get down by some points, maybe we're not serve receiving well, they'll make the corrections, talk it through, they don't take it personal, and they get back to work.
Gabby, same question for you. How do you stay motivated every time you hit the court?
Yeah, I think definitely just knowing that we are the top team and people are going to play their best against us and are out to get us every time. So I think every game we go in with the same mindset no matter what the team is. And I think we all, once again, have the same goal every game and every practice. So I think it's really easy, honestly, to like just play our best every time.
Coach, I'm going to ask you specifically about Gabby sitting right next to you. She's had such a standout career throughout her time in Harrisburg. What makes her so special?
I've never met a more fierce competitor. She's works hard at every single skill. She's got talent, she's got drive, but she's a natural leader. The kids gravitate to her. They want to be Gabby. The little kids are watching, and I couldn't ask for more. Gabby's just, bar none, if you've got the Gabby factor, you've got something special.
Well, Gabby, I'll ask you kind of the same question. What makes you so special? What is it about volleyball that drew you to the sport?
I think since a little kid, I've always just been really competitive. Even like playing board games at home, like I couldn't lose. So I think that really shows like on the volleyball court as well. Like I just really don't want to lose. And the same thing goes with like practice and stuff. I feel like I'm always working hard because I want to be the best and I want to make others around me better. And so I think being competitive really helps that.
Well, Gabby, now committed to play at USD, a program that has had a lot of success at the Division I level. Take me through the commitment process and the recruiting process and what made you ultimately decide to become a Coyote.
Yeah, going into June 15th, that's when colleges could officially like reach out and talk to you. It was definitely really stressful just to think about what I'm going to do for the next 4 years going into junior years, which is so far away. But I felt like I wanted to go to a program that wanted me and was also really competitive. And I feel like USD gave me that. They really believed in me and gave me a bunch of confidence in my skills. So I think it's going to be super valuable to be at a program that values me and is going to put 100% into me every day.
I'm sure the being close to home factor, just about 45 minutes down the road from your hometown, played a factor as you're able to, now play in front of your friends and family?
Yes, it'll be awesome to be able to see them all the time, and hopefully they'll be at a lot of games.
Coach, how was that commitment process for you? How did you help Gabby along the way to ultimately signing it with a Division I program?
A lot of conversations of, like going to a big school versus a D1 a little bit smaller school. Wants and, everything looks great on paper, but you've got to live it. And just knowing what you want out of your experience. A lot of kids go into a big school and they have to sit for a year or two, and then you're hoping and that they don't find somebody out of that portal and different things like that. And I think Gabby made a great decision. She's going to be a difference maker for them the minute she walks in, and she's gonna get to shine down there. I think it'll be a great experience for her.
Okay, so now let's turn our attention back to this coming week. We can talk college volleyball a lot, but you still have 3 games left in your season. Here's another look at the bracket. What would it mean to pick up 3 more wins and another state championship?
I think it would just mean the world, just to show that all the hard work that everybody on the team has put in pays off, and I think it would just really make a great statement going out with the 4th championship.
Coach, what about you? What would a 4-peat mean?
A lot. We're going to take it game by game, but the ultimate goal is to finish what we started. They kind of got an itch to make sure that they can finish with 4, and they got 4 seniors, and that's what we plan to do.
Wow, 4 seniors and the potential at a 4-peat. Seems poetic, almost like that. Well, Harrisburg in action on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday championship. Saturday night out in Rapid City. Thank you both for joining me in studio today. More SportsZone All Access coming up next here on KELOLAND Plus.
Welcome back to SportsZone All Access on this November 19th. Ian Sachs, Kelsey Dennehy, and we want to preview a little bit of what is on tap for KELOLAND Sports tonight at 10. And you're going to see Gabby Zachariasen one more time tonight. Ian, you put together that story on their potential 4-peat.
A lot of fun talking with Coach and Gabby just a couple of minutes ago. And now looking ahead to what they can do this week and what a 4-peat would mean for them, and just the run that they've been on, not just this year, but the last handful of years, looking at all their successes. And it's fun to hear how their mindset works and how they're approaching this week of, we're 3 wins away from doing something historic. Let's go out and let's do it, and let's win a 4th straight state championship. Send Gabby and the rest of that senior class off the right way. And it would only be fitting if they do win the championship. So fun to talk with them. And we have some NAI, some GPAC action coming up as well.
Love some hoops highlights, a little doubleheader between Dort and Northwestern, women's basketball and men's basketball. So be sure to tune in tonight on KELOLAND News for all of those highlights and that great story by Ian. But that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. For Ian Sachs, I'm Kelsey Dennehy. You're watching SportsZone All Access on KELOLAND Plus.